Now I want to talk about Florence a little bit and your art because I think that's one, and then we'll talk about your writing. But that really kind of defines, in a large
In a way, it
sense,
does.
what was the core of your.
I think I really well, when we were still in Trinidad, I remember George came back from Denver one time with an easel.
An easel.
Yeah, and I did a little then, but I did a couple of terrible portraits, if you
Yeah.
remember, and I went to a class doing still life, which I still hate to do. And, but I think I really got started in Grand Junction. And our silk screening in the basement, and the doing the did I talk last time about going out with some people?
Oh, no, just
to a nightclub or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I mentioned that, but I really got started in Grand Junction, and from then on it just became a very, very important part of my life.
It became the most important
Yeah.
part, except for
Well,
me.
I wouldn't say the most important part, because, I still had children and whom I loved, and, and a husband.
No,
but
I meant time-wise.
It just became a very important part of my life, and it's continued that way. And I've changed a lot over the years, but I hope for the better.
Well, she started out with oils, and then went from oils to,
Watercolors.
no, to prints.
Well, the prints and the oils were simultaneous.
And then
Yeah.
she went to watercolor, and
And
from watercolor she
Oh
went
yeah,
to...
I went to etching. I did a lot of etching
Yeah.
too.
So in your painting career, who were the people that really influenced you the most in terms of kind of, apart from George, getting you started and your style and whatnot?
Well,
Because you've changed a lot over the years.
yeah, I have changed a lot of. In Denver, I went to a group that painted, like a workshop, and Angelo Benedetti.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
That was his name.
influenced me. He's a very nice young man who came down from Central City and conducted the workshop.
and then there was Professor Russell.
Yes, that was in Trinidad, and he came around one day, and I think Charlie was just born then, and I wasn't doing any painting or anything. And he said, "You think you're going to take it up again, when things get quieter?" He said, "You have to keep doing it." And I remembered that.
Mm-hmm.
And he fixed it up so that I could go to the college and have a model with me and paint. Instead of doing still lifes, which I didn't like too much, paint figures. And I painted pictures of Mr. Moses and that girl, I forget her name. I did a couple of pictures like that. And then when we moved to Grand Junction, I really took off.
Right.
And then when we moved to Los Angeles, we had a big garage in the back of the house, and we fixed up a studio
Yeah,
there.
that was-
No, but I remember before that, when we still lived in the apartment on Westminster.
Yeah,
That's
well, then
when-
I was doing commercial work
Right,
then.
you were doing commercial
I started
art.
working we found out that California was more expensive than Colorado. And I got freelance fashion work from Penny's.
and Newsteaders.
No, not Newsteaders. Newsteaders is a Denver firm. No, Penny's and Lane Bryant.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so I made some money then. And
Yeah, I remember you used to do a lot of work
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah, I fixed up one of the bedrooms as a little studio
Right.
for myself.
Right.
And I remember I used to ask the young woman who lived next door. She would pose for me sometimes, and yeah. And then when we had been living in Denver, I got tired of taking care of a little kid named Jay all the time. And I went to work for the May Company 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
3 afternoons a week and had a sitter who came in and took care of you. Oh, that was lovely. I loved that. I would meet George after work and we'd come home together, and the sitter was a nice Jewish woman who very often would cook supper for me. I mean, it was wonderful.
It sounds good.
I didn't make a heck of a lot of money, but just the fact of getting out of the house,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, was great.
And when did your printmaking really start? That was
Well,
in L.A., wasn't
That
it?
was in L.A.
Yeah.
Yes, because I took a printmaking course, an etching course, and that's when I really started.
Right, because that was an amazing, as I remember it, that was an amazingly creative period. I mean, I was just astounded at the stuff that you did.
Yeah, well, I still like to do some printmaking. I don't do etching anymore because I don't feel like fooling around with the acid. But I've done a lot of. I don't think you've seen too many of them. I've done quite a few of monoprints.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I have a little press here, and you know.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen very many of those.
No, I haven't.
I'll show you some of them.
Yeah, I'd love to
later.
see,
Yeah,
sure.
because there's some of them are kind of interesting.
But be sure he doesn't take any away.
Anything he wants, Jay is entitled to.
Well, we still have your wedding present to us on the.
I know, and that's a good. Yeah.
This was the
Yeah.
I remember
Dante's
that.
Inferno is what we call it. I don't know what
Yeah.
you called it.
I don't know what I.
Right, that was an amazing pen and ink drawing.
Yeah.
No, I was always impressed with your
Diane has some marvelous
with your
pictures.
sense as a you call them draftsman or draftsperson
Yes,
or whatever.
I
mean, you have
I
a
draw
wonderful
well.
sense of line.
Yeah. Well, I have a sense of color too.
Well, no, I agree with that, but
Yeah.
but I think
Well, I
it,
draw well.
yeah,
I draw well.
amazing.
And that always helps. But I started watercolor because in order to do an oil painting, I would do a turpentine wash painting first. And that was fun. I like that. And I went to watercolor from then. And
So now, in addition to doing your own stuff, you've also taught, haven't you?
I've taught a few classes, but mostly in YWCA or something like. I've taught some classes here too, but teaching takes up too much time. I don't have the time to teach anymore. People have asked me to teach, but I don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep going.
Well,
It's very important
yeah, absolutely, it's fantastic.
because George is a very strong person, strong character. And I always felt that, if I didn't have something of my own, that I would be completely under the thumb. And this way, I'm a very independent woman.
So do you think that's one of the things that accounts for the strength and the longevity and
Definitely.
the tightness of your marriage, that you
Definitely.
really have very individual personalities?
Yes.